Welcome, Lady Probs fans. If you're just joining us for the first time, we are Brittany and Kaylee Winfield. We are sisters, and we started this podcast to talk about all things lady issues.
Yeah, lot of lady issues.
A lot of lady issues happening, and today's issue is
body hair.
woo, talking about pubes. Let's go. So before we get started, we just want to quickly congratulate Taylor Small on the election, which happened. Taylor was recently on our third episode, Women in Politics. So Taylor is the first Vermont trans legislator.
Amazing work, Taylor. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see the amazing things you accomplish. So, thanks, Taylor.
Woohoo!
Just a little shout out. Yeah, body hair. I looked up some history because we always do a little mini history lesson on our show. I think the reason why we chose to do this topic was because I always talk about how I'm walking around a grocery store and I'm always so peeved off.
Kaylee's always peeved.
I'm so
But
peeved.
particularly.
Maybe it's because I go to the grocery store hungry when I go. I don't know. But I was naturally in the grocery store yesterday, and it wasn't like a big food run. It was when you're out of snacks, because you always eat snacks first.
Naturally.
Not the point. I was walking, and I needed some shaving cream, and I was looking. The shaving cream was so expensive for women, and the Barbasol one was $189, where the Pure Silk, I think it's called,
Yeah.
was like $289, and I was like, why am I paying $1 extra for this?
And
it's
it comes
literally
in a
the same
skinnier
thing.
can.
Skinnier can. It smells horrible.
And I am a huge fan of Barbasol. I've been using Barbasol since I could shave.
I think Mom always got us Barbasol.
Yeah,
it's
like,
because who cares?
The aloe flavor. Good job on that one, Barbasol.
The green one.
Yes, the green
spearmint
one.
one.
Particularly, yes, the spearmint
Yeah.
one. That like moisturizes while you're taking your hairs out of your legs. But yeah, no, it's definitely a sign of
The
pink tax.
worst.
Pink tax is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about other people, but I like barely use shaving cream anyway. I always use soap or something.
Me too.
To
I
lather
do that
before I
sometimes.
shave my legs, which is very rare. I fucking hate shaving my legs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what the millennials would call cuffing season. So
you only shave where your jeans are ripped in your knee.
Yes, it's
That's
winter time, which means
pro
it's
tip.
Sweatpants, like bear
Turtleneck.
hibernation season.
You do not see an inch of my skin in Vermont.
No, for me, so you say it's your knees because you wear ripped jeans.
Yeah.
Mine, it's the ankles because I wear capris when I'm
Dad
walking around the house.
ankle.
Yes, that showing off a little too much ankle today.
But so when I came home from the grocery store, I was like, why is this a thing? So I naturally again researched body hair.
Safe search off.
Yeah. And I found out a bunch of stuff that I didn't know, and I wanted to share it with you. So basically in 1908, showing arms were like armpit hair was super offensive. And because fashion magazines and trends were toward men's razor, the razor companies really wanted to push their market out. So they started telling women that you need to shave your legs and your armpit hair. And magazines like Ladies' Home Journal and Woman's Home Companion and Good Housekeeping were all trying to sell these new beauty trends. And some of the words that they used around this was objectable, unwelcoming, embarrassing, unsightly, unclean. So they really did a great job marketing how dirty hair is. And they basically, their goal was to keep women modest and dainty and groomed and refined until the 1940s. So women were like usually wearing stockings and stuff, and women were revolting against stockings, so they started shaving their legs. So actually in the 1940s, shaving your legs was a way of women protesting the stockings. And you've probably seen this picture or talked to your grandmother about them using eyeliner to put a line up the back of their leg. I know our grandma has done that when she went to Christian school.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's
Catholic
called.
school. Yeah,
Catholic school. So that's where it started. And then by the 1960s, 97% of women shaved their legs. So that's like where it came from.
Yeah. So that narrative has it's flipped.
Yeah.
It's flipped on itself in today's culture.
And I think what the argument is here, it's not bad that you shave your legs. It's the reason why you shave your legs.
Yeah. I'm guilty of it. You know, when I was in college, I used to be like, well, I'm going on a date. I have to shave my legs because sex was expected. Yeah, because it was the prep. So I'm like, well, now I feel obligated to, you know, go home with a guy because I put in all this effort.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, part of the prep of like going to a formal or a dance or whatever was shaving your legs. And I mean, I feel like a slippery little cute confident dolphin whenever I shave my legs.
Yep.
Plus the feeling of when you're laying in bed.
Oh my God.
With the silky sheets.
The knit sheets.
It's so good.
Yes, I love it.
It's so good. But yeah, I remember also in high school, there was one summer, and I think I was like a sophomore or a junior. Like, I was pretty old. Like, I knew the routine of shaving my legs. I remember one summer, I just like, either mom didn't buy us razors, or we just kind of
It never
pushed
came
it off.
up yet.
Never came up. It wasn't a priority on my list. I remember like 2/3 through summer, I reached down and my leg was like black stubble. And I was a little embarrassed. And then I was like, who cares? I'm not dating anyone right now.
Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this babysitter, but we used to have a babysitter who, my first introduction was, she had mentioned that she had started shaving her legs in 5th grade because she played field hockey. And you were required to wear skirts when you were playing field hockey. And at that time, I was older than that. I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and mom and dad had gone on a weekend trip. So that's why we had a babysitter when we were in middle school. Yeah, we couldn't cook on our own, okay? So this person, like, I felt like I was behind the game almost.
Yeah. So when were you taught to first shave your legs? Like, who taught you? When did it happen?
Yeah, so it was mom. So after that whole babysitter incident,
mom taught me too.
Well, that makes sense.
On separate occasions, though.
Yes,
because Brittany and I are 3 years apart, by the way.
Yeah,
just if we haven't established that. Yeah.
So after that whole babysitter conversation, I remember approaching mom and being like, "Why haven't we been introduced to this before?
Why isn't this a thing?
Like, I also play sports, and in our town, softball players were required to wear shorts. We didn't have like baseball pants like the boys' baseball team did. So I was doing the same activity that this older girl had been doing, and like, you know, you just became aware of your body at that point, and we were going to dances and stuff like that. So at that point, I had not had the experience of shaving my legs yet. And so I asked mom, and I was like, I think it's time. Like, I'm not going to do it all the time. I just want to experience it, you know?
Yeah, I just want to know how to do it.
I just want to know.
It's like doing laundry. Like, if I feel like doing it once in a while, I want to know how.
Exactly. So it was the summertime, and we were going on vacation to Knoebels, which is a campsite in Pennsylvania. And our cousin was staying with us because we were going on a family vacation. So it was the night before camping, and our cousin is a few months younger than myself, and so mom took her and I into our bathroom upstairs.
I totally remember that. I remember like peeking into the door thinking there's a party.
Go away.
And like there's all these legs in the tub.
Yeah.
Because you guys were sitting on the ledge.
Yeah. And
it's like a shaving party, and I wasn't invited.
However, it wasn't like the traditional razor and cream. Mom had introduced us using Nair, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And my first impression was, this shit smells nasty. Okay, I'm gonna burn my leg off, and
that's terrible.
It's gonna be like blistery, which there's a different story about that.
Yeah.
So Nair's disgusting, and so that was my first impression. So we like put the Nair on, and it didn't really work. So we then like took the razors and, shaved our legs.
Yeah, it's so crazy because Mom also introduced me, because it was just me and Mom. I didn't have any moral support in my shaving story. But she gave me a can of Nair too. But she didn't actually teach me how to shave my legs. She just gave me the can, and then the razor you get looks like a razor, but there's no metal part. It's just flat plastic. And you literally just scrape. It's almost like scraping putty on a wall.
Yeah.
Like a scraper. And that was my first experience, and I did it once and I hated it too. I was like, this stinks.
I think for me it was the Nair, but one of the most
Smells.
memorable moments from that night was Mom had told us a story of another female member of our family and their first time using Nair, and I will never forget this. I will not disclose who that family member is, but if you know, you make me crack up every time I think of this. So this one female family member was using Nair and put their leg up on, I guess, the tub, or like put it elevated.
Yeah.
So the Nair solution got on their like no area and like wiped away a patch of it.
No.
Oh my god, it was the funniest freaking thing.
Terrible.
And so to this day, if I ever use like a chemical solution,
Away
I
from
like
your body.
like a cowboy stance with my legs apart, so that way I don't get it on any
A
other
nice
part of my body.
straddle.
Oh my god, it was so freaking funny, and every time I use Nair, I think of that story. So
Wow.
do not hit your
Please
downstairs.
Be careful. Use
Yeah.
with discretion.
And also PSA for anybody who's not used Nair before, highly recommends that you only do a little bit on
Test
your
it out.
Yeah, test it out. Make sure you don't get chemical burns, because in some areas of my body I do get chemical burns and some others I don't, based on the sensitivity of the skin.
Yeah.
So if you are new to shaving, don't go all out at first.
I almost recommend just doing shaving cream and razor, even though I've definitely accidentally sliced my fingers.
Yeah, be
before
careful
with the razor.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
trying to get the hair out.
Go
But
vertical, not horizontal.
my question is, when I first started actually shaving my legs, so razor, shaving cream, I didn't know if you shaved your whole leg or just the bottom half of it, like up to your ankle to knee.
Yeah.
Because, I got 17 magazine and like Teen Vogue, and they have not commercials. Well, there are commercials, but also magazine ads where it shows the whole leg is covered. And I'm like, what do? I don't know.
Yeah. I think, for me, it's up to the preference of what I'm even feeling that day. And
It's a lot of work, too.
it's a lot of work. You're wasting shaving cream when you're doing that. And it depends on what you're wearing, almost.
Yeah. If you're wearing, like, a high dress, it's whatever you're really comfortable with.
Yeah.
Whenever I do it now, I shave from my ankle up to, like, above my knee, because there's always
Just
that
above,
weird,
though.
like, knee hair that I
Yeah.
always miss, and there's always very low ankle hair that I always miss.
Yeah, for me, it's like I won't, like in the summertime, I do it based on like swimming and like putting on a bathing suit.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't. I just don't like the feeling of the sand getting in my leg hair. And as you said, it feels really nice on your bed sheets when you have a nice. So it's kind of like a self-care routine. Like
Yeah.
when I need a little pick-me-up, that's when I'll go all out. Bring out the moisturizer. Make sure you moisturize after you shave because it dries out your leg. Just do a little bit more as a self-care routine and not as I'm required to shave twice a week because I have a significant other. Like, that should not be the case.
Yeah. I don't think you should ever shave based on your partner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice if that's what makes you confident, but if your partner is like, ew, you have armpit hair, like, why are you dating them?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
It's literally natural. All women have body hair.
Yep.
It's, and that's my other question too, is like, I mean, I've heard women talk about leg hair, armpit hair, but I don't hear anyone talking about any other type of hair, including the no-no area.
The no-no square.
So my first introduction to other areas of hair was when I was working at that furniture store. And half of the crew was college kids and the other crew was mothers and like older women.
Yeah.
And I remember I came in for a really, really early shift. I think we're doing a floor set or something. And it was just me, and we all took a break together having breakfast, and I'm just quiet in the corner. And I referred to these women as, like, my second moms. They always acted so motherly to me. And they're just, like, having their normal conversation, what they have in the morning. And I remember one of them talking about how they forgot to pluck their chin hair.
Yep.
And me, like, it's 6 a.m., me in the corner eating my little granola bar. I was like, what is going on right now? And I had no idea women had to do that.
Yeah.
Or, like, upper lip hair.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're both blonde.
But, like, for me, I know their cause. So for me, it's a hormonal thing. So full disclosure, like, I have a little bit more testosterone than other females. You know, it's something I've talked to with my OBGYN, and it's not like a huge issue. I'll talk about it a little bit more during our first period conversation. But because of that medical reason and biological reason, I get chin hair here. I obviously chin hair on my chin. I get like a mustache, and it like glistens in the sun because it's blonde. And then when I go to pluck it, it turns coarser. It turns hollow. It turns
black. Right? Darker.
Exactly. And for me, that's my biggest like focal point of my body is like I'm obsessive about it.
Yeah.
And I really hate to like, you know, I really hate that that's the thing I obsess about, but constantly, like, it's almost an anxiety thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Is I will sit there, and if I feel something, like I feel like a tiny little itty bitty piece now, I will get so obsessed until I pluck it, like until I have a chance to pluck it. So like for me, I have literally over there, I have tweezers. I have them at my office desk. I have them in the bathroom, in the vanity, anywhere I can reach it. So
yeah, I know other people have had challenges with between their eyebrows.
Yep.
There's this famous model who has very developed eyebrows, and she's literally been in Vogue, and people make fun of her all the time on the internet. Like, why don't you just pluck your quote unquote unibrow? You'd be a lot prettier. And she's like, no, because this is who I am.
Yeah. And then it's so interesting, like fashion trends,
beauty.
like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was so cool to have like razor thin eyebrows. And now
it's like thick,
bushy eyebrows
yeah.
and go au naturel. People are actually like taking pencils to gain eyebrow hairs or make it look like they've gained it.
Yeah.
It's so... The idea of fashion trends, you never know what's coming.
So fast.
Yeah, you can't keep up sometimes.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's really about embracing what you have, owning it. I think a lot of people think when they think of like women growing out their armpit hair and their legs, they think of like a very extreme woman who's like a liberal and is like, dirty and like a hippie and things like that. And I was like, really? Then that means that every male who grows out their armpit hair is a hippie, gross person too, you know? I was like, why can't you just let people be?
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole gender divide between shaving, not shaving, it's something that, you know, we have to live with as women in society. And you should only shave when you want to shave, ladies. And also make sure you take care of yourself too. That was one thing I also wanted to mention. So if you're new to the game of shaving or a younger viewer, make sure you're also looking out for yourself too. So like make sure you're looking at your body. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror because recently I had an ingrown hair, like, and that could have been infected. So make sure you're taking note of your body hair too to make sure that you are staying healthy.
Yeah. And okay, to get a little crazier, sorry, Dad, if you're listening, but I just want to say, I remember in high school, we lived near a lake, and I, for the longest time, wore shorts and an oversized t-shirt whenever I went swimming, because I was a very scared, insecure little girl. And I remember the first time I ever wore a bikini, I think my pubic hair had grown out a little bit, And I remember, like, you were the one who was like, hey, Haley, like, you should probably, like, take care of that, or just, like, a heads up, because there was boys around. And I had no idea that that was actually a thing, that you needed to shave that area.
Well, I think for me, being the older sister and going through something like that, like, we were required to take swim lessons, like a unit of swimming in gym class. So I had already gone through that bullying period from people in my class. So I just didn't want you to go through the same bullying.
Yeah. And I've always remembered that moment of, like, you stepping up as a big sister and being like, hey, this is how this works, and, like, showing me. And yeah, for the longest time, I would just, like, it would be like the Sahara Desert under there. It would be like clean, like, baby's head. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so now I maintain it as a healthy little pube field down there. But I was like, why do I need to, whenever I'm having a relationship sexually with a partner, they should not have a say on my pubic hair.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And like
if you don't like my natural self, like, get out of here.
Yeah, and I think it's important for, like, if you are going through, there was a phase where when my partner and I were first dating, like, I was so self-conscious, and at one point I got so frustrated. I'm like, yo, are you okay if I just, like, not? And he's like, yeah, I don't care, like, and you do you.
I think that's important too, is, like, having that conversation with your partner. Like, it's not something to be embarrassed about. Like, that's, if you are literally being inside another person, like, you can talk about body hair. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out
everybody
there.
has hair. Like, my partner literally shaves his armpits. Like, we're good. Like, it's role reversals all around in this household.
And being an artist too, like, I also love just, are we doing a mohawk today? Is it a triangle? Are we gonna cut out a little butterfly?
The
like,
landing
sometimes
strip,
it's really fun. Like, sometimes I'll be in the shower for like 40 minutes, and my partner will be like, "Did you slip and fall? Like, are you okay?" It's like, no, it's because I'm mowing the cornfield. So, speaking about the grocery store from our last segment, because it gets me so peeved, when I was looking at the shaving cream, I took a step to the left of me, and I was looking at the razor part too. And what I noticed was such a dividing line between Blue World and Pink World.
Yeah.
It's like blue, green, and silver, and then, like, the other side is pink, yellow, orange, and God forbid there's a red razor out there.
Right,
Maybe
you can literally see the
confused.
line. Yeah.
And I was looking, my partner and I, when we buy razors, we buy men's blue, the cheapest thing ever.
Buy in bulk.
both him and I use the razors mutually.
Yeah.
But I guess it does depend on your skin type, and I think you shouldn't buy razors based on if it's advertised for a woman or a man.
Yeah.
You should buy it based on what you need.
Exactly. And, we were talking about doing what makes sense for you health-wise, and remember that we all have different skin types sensitivity-wise. Something that might be right for somebody might not be right for you. So it's important to, if you find something that's giving you a rash, don't use it. Mm-hmm. Like, go to something else. You may need something with a little bit more moisturizer, something that may be for sensitive skin, and don't look at the colors. Look at the ingredients.
Look at the quality of it.
Look at the quality, exactly.
Yeah, because there's always, like, the $1 razor. It's like toothbrushes, too. It's like the $1 razor that's, like, flimsy, like, you can bend it. And then there's, like, the $20 razor that looks like the Kim Kardashian of shaving equipment.
Exactly. Like, you may not need the super expensive one, but you may not want to,
just use
a single
flimsy
blade might not be for you. And it might, give you cuts. You might need a few more, like 3 or 4 blades in order to actually grasp the hair.
Yeah. Brittany, you told me a really funny story the other day, and I want you to tell it again because I love it so much.
So, oh my God. So my family doesn't know this. Well, they know, but they don't
Now
know the
I know.
details. So when I think it was the summer in between my sophomore and junior year, I was living with grandma and grandpa at their house.
And just to really seal the deal on this story, our grandparents, their house is spotless.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh,
super
yeah.
clean. Everything needs to be in its place.
Yeah. Like one thing moved, you're fucked.
Yeah. Like you're getting a
yeah. They don't really beat us, but still.
Yeah, that was a joke. Oh my God.
It's a verbal warning, okay? First time offense. Which is why they don't know this story to its full effect, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the summer in between my sophomore and junior year, and I was going to a new college, so I really wanted to step up my appearance. And one of the things that I really have never done was a bikini wax. Like, it terrifies me to this day. And after this incident, I can promise you I'll probably never try it. Maybe. I don't know. So, I was at the house and our grandparents had gone somewhere for the night. So I was home alone and I was, just casually, it was a self-care night. So I was going to take a shower and moisturize and do my beauty routine, do a face mask. So I was looking through the cabinets. There's a laundry closet outside of the bathroom, and there was this basket, and I pull it out, and there was this hard wax. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll try waxing myself. It'll be fine. So I go to so you have to heat it up. It's in this container and you have to heat it up and then use it, put it on your skin and then peel it off. It'll harden and then it'll peel off and pull the hairs with it. So my genius brain goes downstairs, and because I'm waxing my legs, I'm in a tank top, no bra, and underwear. So barely any clothes covering me for protection. Again, wasn't the brightest moment of mine. Go downstairs, and their microwave is not on the counter. It's above the stove. And so I microwave it for the amount of time, and I go to take it out of the microwave with my bare hands, because again, I'm not thinking. And the container's so hot that I spill it all over myself, and my fingers literally wax them. As soon as it hit my skin, it started hardening. So my fingers were all stuck together, and I'm pretty sure it's this hand. So it was my dominant hand. So I'm lefty loosey over here.
She looks like she has a flipper now.
Yeah, I look like I have a flipper encased in wax. It spills all over my chest. It spills all over my legs, the top of my one leg.
I would have freaked out.
All over my pubes. So I'm freaking the fuck out because I'm also dying. The adrenaline hasn't hit yet, but it is scorching my skin.
Yeah.
And as soon as it kicked into my brain, my body, I thought I was on fire. So I run. Actually, I don't even run. I can't even run. So I crawl myself up the stairs. I crawl into the master bathroom, which thank God had a jacuzzi tub. And I somehow get myself into the tub, take my clothes off, and I run the cold water because I have a burn on my and I've never been a burn victim. I don't know what to do. I barely pass the Red Cross first aid class. So
yeah,
I'm in the tub and I just sit in the cold water for at least 2 hours. Oh my God.
It's the worst walk of shame you could ever have.
Oh my God. It gets better from here. So then I start to peel. So it hardens even harder. Yeah. So I start to peel at least the stuff around my fingers so I can use my hands. And then I go to town on my leg, and then I save the worst for last.
Oh my God.
And I take scissors.
You're all
and
I
try
wanted
to
was my legs.
That's all I want. Well, yeah, I just like, I wanted to try a little bit, and I got a lot more than a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I like remember taking scissors and trying to like get under it, you know, and like popping it off.
God.
Oh my God. But fast forward, and I don't know how I got like, I don't know how I didn't get caught, honestly, because Grandma and Grandpa then came home at like 10 o'clock. And all the pandemonium happened from like 6 to up until that point. It took me that long to get the wax off my body. So then they came home, and I remember like being under the covers, but the cotton of the covers was like rubbing the burn.
Ugh.
Yeah, sorry, trigger warning. I don't. So then I remember like driving myself to Rite Aid the next day and getting like burn cream and that like I don't know what's called, like the wrap that you like wrap your leg around.
Gauze?
Yeah, like gauze in the wrap.
Yeah.
And I then drove home for the weekend to go see Mom and Dad, and Mom was like, "What happened to you?" And Mom, the first time she saw it, she passed out. She actually like went unconscious for a second and passed out, and she fainted in the upstairs hallway.
And like the thing is though, is you can't get anything by Mom, because our mom was
Mm-mm.
okay. Sorry, Mom,
Mm-mm.
but you were like a bad kid when you were our age. Like
Tisk, tisk.
Mom did like very bad.
She
like,
was the rebellion one.
She like drove her parents' car when she was 13.
Yeah.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
But that's no excuse. So like Mom has seen it all basically.
like
So having Mom pass out is like a lot.
So, which is why I told everybody it was hamburger grease. And I told everybody this because I was so embarrassed that I had just burnt my effing leg off with wax.
Yeah.
Because the latter would have been, why are you trying to wax yourself? And I didn't want to go through that.
I literally don't remember this at all.
How? And then, so I worked at the university that I was now a new student. So like,
Brittany was just trying to get a new look and be cute as hell.
I was,
and
but I couldn't wear pants. Like I couldn't physically put pants on because the burns were so bad.
Yeah.
So I had to wear a dress with this ugly like neon red and blue wrap around my leg, and everybody then asked, and I was like, oh, I burnt myself. Like I couldn't tell anybody, and still I kept the secret for, it's been 6 years now, I think.
And now the whole world knows.
And now the whole world knows. Sorry, Mom.
Grandma.
Oh my God. And yeah, so don't try to wax yourself, people. Go to a person to do that.
See, and I feel like I have to say that my success in life is dedicated to your mistakes, Brittany, because that's why like Brittany goes through all of the crap, and then like she teaches me what not to do.
Yes. I just,
because I remember another time. So okay, we already established that I was a super insecure person in high school, especially middle school. I hit puberty in like 7th grade, so it was like full on. I remember I was sitting in some dumb class. I just remember it was like an engineering class where you build like towers out of fake wood.
Yeah, balsa
and
wood.
like put eggs on the top and throw them at the ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was some dumb class. And I was sitting there, and my friend at the time, like, he looked at my arm and was like, ew, you have arm hair? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I went home that night and I like nared off all my arms, because that was the only thing I had to me at the time was nair. And I I came in the next day and I was feeling confident about my new like breezy arms. Like I could feel the wind against me, and like I was
You're
kicking
smooth.
it. And like also, like, I have baby blonde hair. Like, you can barely see.
We have the same type of hair.
We have the same type of hair. Like, you can barely see my arm hair.
It's barely there.
And I should have known better, because a year prior to this, like, the same kid said that my face was oily, which is, like, so harsh, because my face is still oily to this day, and I will never forget you saying that to me. Anyway.
You're terrible.
You're the reason why I shave my arms, literally. But, yeah, and then I remember, like, nobody noticed my new, like, less hairy arms.
But wait,
there's
there's more.
But, like, you noticed them.
So,
and that was the first thing. Like, Brittany's insane, because she can tell what's going on in my life without even me saying anything. Like, She didn't. I think I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, and you're like, "Did you shave your arms?"
I remember like we passed something to each other, or like maybe I was like
did
passing
I
you,
give
and
you something.
I felt your arm, and I was like, "Why the fuck does it feel different than mine?" I just and Kaylee, like I'm not even kidding. Like I sometimes like I can feel that sensation just thinking about that memory.
Yeah.
Because that's how off it was.
But I remember you being like, "Did you shave your arms?"
Like I knew immediately.
And like me being like in my head, I was like, "Should I say yes and be cool, or should
Like,
I say
I
no
knew.
and be embarrassed?" Like you
knew.
said it bad, so I was like, "No."
Oh my God.
You were like, you totally shaved your
yeah,
arms.
it felt
And then
different.
you were like, "I'm gonna tell mom," and then I was like, "No." So I like chased you downstairs, and we got into a fight, and then mom's like, "What's going on?" And you're like, "Kaylee shaved her arms," and I was like, "No, I didn't." And I was like hiding my arms behind my back.
But like we all have the same hair.
I think the reason why you said something was because our cousin shaved their arms, and I remember you saying like she got chemical burns on her arms, so that
Yeah.
could have happened to you.
Yeah.
So you were looking out for me, but I thought you were just being like the worst
Of
at the
course.
time.
Like I'm the big sister. I am the worst.
But I can proudly say that this is the only second regrowth of my baby blonde hair. I have never touched my arms past
There you
this.
go.
So
Nice.
And that's what I've learned too, that the more you shave, the coarser it comes in.
Yeah,
So,
and it's like
don't
it's not
touch
like
it.
you weren't on swim team. There was no legitimate reason.
It was
for you to
literally
do
just
that.
because a boy told me that it
Yeah.
was gross. And I mean, he had an older sister. I thought it was something that like she did. Why would I listen to a boy? I don't know. Someone who also called my face oily a year before? I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's just like what happens when freaking people talk about your arm hairs. You shave it off because you think
Yeah.
it's cool. I was like, I just want boys to like me and to feel my beautiful arms.
And that's it. Like it's all about fitting in.
yeah.
And that's why we ended up, well, you didn't end up with an injury, but to this day I have a scar on my leg
yeah.
because I wanted to fit in.
Yeah. So, Brittany, all kidding aside, what have we learned from today?
What we learned is do not try to wax yourself first and foremost. Please
Yes.
do not.
And if you do, have someone who knows how to do it with you.
yeah.
Or at
Morals.
least watch a YouTube video. Like
I did. That was the sad part.
Okay, never mind.
You know, another thing is there are a lot of influences in this world, whether it be peer pressure, whether it be body image advertisements that you see on social media, whether it be
a TikTok.
whether it be a TikTok video, whether it be the different colors of razors that you see going down the toiletry aisle. There's going to be a lot of influences in society, but
like
first
you
and
do
foremost, yeah, you do you and take care of what your needs are.
you.
You
Like if you like shaving your legs, dude, go for it.
yeah,
Have a whole like self-care shaving my body kind of day.
yeah,
But if you don't like it, if it costs too much money, if you don't know, like, if you wake up one day and you're like, why am I doing this all the time? Then, like, don't do it. And people are just gonna, like, stand up for yourself and, you know, don't have anybody else tell you what makes you happy.
yeah, exactly. And you know, the last thing is, you know, if you have a partner that is not on board with this, they're probably not the one for you, because partners should be the ones to support you no matter what you do.
Totally. I totally agree. And it's like, does not shaving make you like a liberal? You know, does taking hair cutting your armpit hair, that sounded weird, but literally cutting your armpit hair, does that make you have a political preference?
I don't think it's so much, for me anyway, this is just my personal opinion, it's not the action of that's the liberal piece of it. The liberal piece is doing what you want to do. Because so many people are like, let's conform to society. But the rebellion is not the action of, it's the entire thing that you will do what makes you happy. Because that's what, you know, people don't always choose their own happiness. People go with the flow and, you know, they're not always happy. They're not always comfortable. So
Yeah.
That for me is the liberal aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I go through life, in my family, I was known as the girl with a million questions. Like, I would wake up one day and be like, I have a question. What is blah, 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 blah? And still to this day, I keep asking questions. And if anything, I think that's more important than ever now. Like, ask yourself, why are we doing these things in life? Like, why am I shaving my legs? Why is shaving cream blue or pink? Why is somebody telling me something? You have to question, like, the social norms we're living in, or else you're never going to learn, like, where they came from, or, like, the history behind it, or, you know, how are we going to change it? Or why are we doing this ridiculous thing we've been doing because nobody stood up and questioned it?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And we're going to keep on doing that on this podcast, is we're going to keep asking weird questions and trying to find the answers to it, or some kind of common ground.
Yeah. And I think, like, one of the reasons why I love the idea of this podcast is you truly subconsciously don't know what you're looking for unless you're aware of it. Like, sometimes you have this, you notice something out of the blue, but watch, now you're going to be going down the grocery store aisle and you're going to see all of the effects of pink tax. You're going to notice prices are different. You're going to notice the color differentials, even the language on the containers that are containing the item that you're looking to purchase.
Of the object, whether it's high on the shelf, low on the shelf, or it's all marketing.
Yeah. So we challenge everybody here. Take awareness of the environment you're in. See if there are any influences in your own house that are having an influence on you, and look when you go out in public.
Yeah, I want people to take a look at their care products, the bottles. If you notice anything weird, oh my God, I posted this on our Instagram page, but I've been using the same shampoo since forever. I use Pert, and it's a green bottle, like, with little bubbles on it. And I was reading the shampoo bottles in my shower the other day because, like, why?
What else do you do?
But I noticed that it was men's shampoo.
I would have never noticed that. Never would have noticed that.
Like, I have been using it for so long, and the front doesn't say anything men's. It's in the back in the description. And the graphic designer in me is like, okay, someone needs to get fired, because I had no idea this was men's shampoo. But then the feminist in me is like, okay, like I love this.
Go. All we need to do is eliminate the men on the back, and we're there.
Yeah, I was like, why isn't there more gender neutral shampoo? And I was like, now that I figured out it's a men's shampoo, I'm not going to stop using it. Like, it works for me.
Yeah, you've been using it for so many years.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't matter.
So I would say, take a look at your bottles, read your shampoo in the shower, take a picture if you notice anything weird or funny, ask more questions, and give us a shout out on Instagram or Facebook if you find anything weird in those aisles.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Body Hair.
You're listening to Lady Probs. Again, we are Brittany and Kaylee Winfield, and we release episodes every single Monday about different topics. And if you liked what you heard today, please consider leaving us a review or a like or subscribe or really anything. We'll be grateful no matter what.